Well, hey, good afternoon. This is Bill Maharis. This is my good friend and previous football head coach at Cocoa High School, Coach Doug Cook. And Doug, it's always great, especially when it's 97 degrees out. We are coming to you live from Cocoa Beach Junior Senior High School for tonight's intra-squad game. And who else to have better than a previous... Now, I'm trying to think, did they have leather helmets when you... Or were you
no,
at the...
we didn't even have helmets.
Okay, no helmet. I couldn't remember what it was.
Yeah.
So, before we get started, let me ask you, and we were talking about this before we came on, so when you were coaching at Cocoa mid to late 80s, what did you have during the spring that you could participate in?
Oh, we had a Jamboree, and usually Gerald Odom, who was the head coach at Merritt Island, usually he would host it at Merritt Island. And there would be about 6 teams involved, and we'd play like 2 quarters against usually our rivals, you know.
Right.
So that was a lot of fun. It was like a game situation, an actual game situation. Now, the week before, though, we had an inter-squad game.
Like we're doing tonight?
Yeah.
Okay, so you did do both. You had that, and then you went, okay, all right. Let me see, we don't want to miss the anthem. Let's see. So we're going to switch over. We got the anthem. Hold on just a second. National anthem here at Cocoa Beach Junior Senior High School. So, Coach, let me get back to, so now we've got where some would do the intra-squad game, then some will do a Jamboree, and we'll talk about that later. Cocoa Beach is going to be at a Jamboree next Friday, and then some actually play a game. Did you have a preference, or let me ask you, why would you do an intra-squad game if you were going to play the next week?
Just to get the kinks out, you know, get your timing down on offense, and get the organization together, you know, kickoff team, kickoff return, get everything organized before you present to the public what you got. You wanted to have a good product on the field. You didn't want to be embarrassed in the Jamboree.
You didn't want to just put a wrapper around and say,
Exactly. So, and we were always prepared 99% of the time. You know, sometimes somebody would forget something, but that's kids and that's coaches too. Sometimes they forget.
Yeah, especially if you. So, you know, I was thinking about this the other day. Is where it seems like if you're not familiar with Press Box Overtime, we're on Facebook. Of course, you know that because you're watching us. We're also on Twitter or X. I have a YouTube channel and Instagram, all by the same name. I'm not sure it's because nobody else wanted the name or I got it first. So one thing I was thinking about preparing. When you do the intra-squad game, and you and I know you've got a lot more experience than I do coaching and playing, you don't want to tell your kids not to play hard because that's when people get hurt. But what do you tell them, like one of your best guys is getting ready to run out of bounds? Did you put a little parameter around how hard they hit each other?
Well, it's a different day and age. You know, back when I coached, when I played, it was all out.
Yeah.
You know, except for your quarterback. You want to protect your quarterback. If your quarterback goes down, then you got problems.
Right.
But we always protected our quarterback. We actually had live officials come in.
I've seen that.
In our inter-squad games. But the kids were ready to hit. They wanted to show their skills. And they were ready to hit. We turned them loose.
And that's a good point. That was also a time for you to kind of reevaluate your talent, because it's one thing having them go through practices, versus live, even though it's against each other, and sometimes you might see something I guess you didn't see during practice.
Oh, exactly. I mean, kids in practice sometimes don't show you 100% of what they got. When the lights come on, especially in a game situation, real live game situation, the adrenaline's flowing, and you've got kids that want to show what they got. And these kids, a lot of these kids want scholarships, so they put in 110%, and not only in the classroom, but also in the football field to get that scholarship.
So let me ask you this, when you get to a Jamboree, like we were talking about earlier, and that Cocoa Beach is going to participate in next Friday, I guess you're still, listen, we all like to win, but you're still using that as a second, because now you're seeing them hitting somebody else. So I guess that's still an evaluation process for you as a head coach?
Oh, it's an evaluation process, but the kids want to win.
Right, I know.
So does Coach Cook.
And mom and dad sitting in the stands, right?
I don't like to lose anything. I lose a lot in golf because I'm not very good, but football, I knew a little something about football, so I wanted to win.
Right.
But we took a look at the kids that we needed to look at in the Jamboree.
Okay.
Now, in the Inter-Squad game, you play everybody, so everybody gets the opportunity to play. Mom and Dad gets to see it.
Exactly.
And it's a good time for everybody. But in the Jamboree, when you're playing an opponent,
you're stepping it up.
And you're stepping it up a little bit, and you're playing your kids that you're going to be playing in the fall.
Well, it's funny you say that. I don't think I've ever seen a press conference where a coach said, we don't care if we win or not tonight.
Right.
I don't think I've ever seen that. Or if I did, it was his last press conference.
Oh, goodness.
And we're excited. And we've talked about this before. All schools treat us good. We might do about 10 games a year, and people are just so good to us. Beachside's kind of a special place, between both of us having a connection at Satellite, you working there, and my daughter went there and coaching a little bit. But you talked about Cocoa Beach being one of 5 junior, senior high schools. Actually, a young man out there, number 20, I believe, on white, last name Jones. His dad is actually the announcer tonight, so that's kind of a cool thing. But we got 7th and 8th graders that have a chance to play varsity. That, you got a kid coming in the 10th grade that might be in his 4th year. That's huge.
It is. These kids, we saw a couple of weeks ago when we did the baseball game. Against Satellite, Cocoa Beach Satellite game. They were 8th grader was pitching.
Oh, yes, exactly.
And Cocoa Beach only lost by 2 runs,
not much to a good Satellite team.
There's some athletes here at Cocoa Beach, I'm telling you. I just couldn't believe it.
Oh, I know.
These kids, having these kids at that young age, you're able to develop them the way you want to and get your program in gear. And other schools, 9 through 12, they don't have that benefit.
No, you're exactly right. Now, I will let the viewing audience know, in case they didn't, and we've discussed this before too, that this year, the FHSAA, which I don't think you or I either thought we'd ever see it in our lifetime, you can actually go to a public school and play a sport in another public school as long as your school doesn't offer it. So what does that mean? That means that middle schoolers in Brevard County, which is only 7th and 8th grade, can go to one of these 5 schools and play a sport, because as you know, at middle school it's only basketball and track. And we were talking to Coach Kennedy at a baseball game, and they've got a couple that have taken advantage of that.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. It's things are changed. It's a different paradigm. It's a paradigm shift.
Right.
And some of us don't like all that stuff, NIL and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But it's giving kids an opportunity where they wouldn't have it before, especially what you were just discussing, going to a different school and playing the sport that's not available at their school. So it gives them an opportunity. I think it's great.
You know what? And I think when we started seeing the open enrollment and people changing, and I kind of get it, if they got all these opportunities academically, then why not athletically? So we're getting ready to kick off. So let me read what's going to happen tonight. The middle school team, 7th and 8th graders, will play for quarters 1 and 2. It will be a 12-minute running clock, stoppage on timeouts, and special teams. For quarters 3 and 4, it will be the high school teams, 12-minute running clock, stoppage on timeouts, and special teams. Last 2 minutes of the 4th quarter will be a normal clock. So right now, we've got some of these very same 7th and 8th graders. We got the Navy team and the white team. Looks like the Navy team has it first. I'm trying to see the number of who is out there at quarterback. Now this is interesting, something you mentioned. I noticed the quarterback has a bright red helmet, so I'm not sure if that's kind of, no late hits.
Knowing Ted Kimmy, who worked with me at Satellite High School, I was one of the people that hired him. he's going to protect that quarterback.
Right.
So it's not going to do you any good if he's injured.
Yeah.
And can't play in the fall.
So if somebody hits him when they shouldn't, they might be carrying a ball today, but the water next week.
That's exactly true.
All right, I'm going to try to see who that is playing quarterback. I can't. Almost looks like an 8. Is it 9? If so, that is Jacob Hassan. But we'll see once they turn this around. But I'm going to try to make this
number 9.
Number 9. All right.
Number
So
9.
playing quarterback for the Navy, not blue, is Jacob Hassan. And they're going to start at the 40-yard line of the white. And here we go for first down. Got a man in motion coming out to the side. And left-hander throws it to number 11. Got a nice little pickup. Pickup. And look at there. First play of the game. Touchdown. Should I say just Cocoa Beach? Because we're going to say that all night. That's the Navy first and 40-yard line. That pass went to number 11, Jackson Powers. Well, I was reading a little bit, and like you say, Coach Kimmy as well as I do, and he was known for high-powered offense. Well,
oh yeah. Hey, listen, winning was very lean for a long time until Coach Kimmy came. Coach Kimmy has a military background. He played football in college, and he's a no-nonsense guy and very disciplined. You have to have a disciplined team in order to win. So he's gonna do some great things here at Cocoa Beach.
And we were talking a little bit, and actually, the gentleman that caught that. All right, we got 2 number 11s. I'm going to try to see here which 11 that was, because I want to give the right due. All right, going for the point after. Always a little tricky at the high school level.
Oh, they're not gonna rush.
Okay.
It's controlled.
Get back there, young fella. Give that thing a boot. That's all right.
Like he tripped over the line.
Yeah, there's too much chalk on that line.
Yeah.
Mr. Jones, number 11, was it Burke or Powers?
It's Arturo Stanley. They had to change the rosters today.
Okay.
So all the numbers are going to be messed up.
Well, is the
right to Arturo Stanley was that touchdown.
And was the quarterback still Jacob Hassan? No.
Whole right.
Whole right. Okay.
Yeah. It's going to be the same offense versus the same defense the whole game.
Okay. We want to try to mention the right names as much as we can. All right, so the Navy scored on a 40-yard touchdown. So right now they're averaging 40 yards a play.
Oh, yeah, that was a nice little flare pass there. I like it.
Versus the same defense the whole game.
Okay.
They had 11 or 12 games suspended today.
So we're gonna make sure to do the best we can on calling these plays. All right, so now the white. Again, this is the middle schoolers. What a great opportunity for them, playing in front of a crowd. Maybe about 100, which is pretty good. Oh, I see. They're going to. Oh, same off. That's right. That's what he's telling me. Okay. Now for number 6, are we going to do the same thing again? All right. That's a pickup of first down.
43 on the tackle.
Possibly Cayman virus. Not really sure, but that was number 6. In case. So parents, don't get mad. We're going to get the numbers right. That was. So I got that one. Okay. Good. Okay. So that was Mr. Varus. All right. So that was the first down. So far. The gentleman that's helping me out here, it's the same offense against the same defense. So that was about a 13-yard pickup. So first and 10 from the white 26. And man, the Navy is just chucking along. All right, got another pass play. Out there to Varus again. Look at here, a little juking back and forth. A little whistle blown.
It's like number 14 on
the tackle.
24.
Beckett Pinnock. So as we're looking at our rosters, a couple cool things. We have Mr. Powers, who is the principal. His son is out there, as well as Coach Kimmy. His son is out there. So that's kind of cool. That's pretty neat.
He was about 4 years old the last time I saw him.
Yeah. And you and I were 35-ish, I think, about that same time.
35, yeah.
All right, so let's see what they got on their short field package. It's second and less than 1. Navy driving. Little handoff to number 11. Look at there. Juke it back and forth. Going right up the middle. Nice tackle. Let's see if we can. That was number 11 on the carry.
8 yards there.
Yeah, that was. Got him a first down. And again, kind of like you and I were talking about earlier, Doug, we got the coaches out there on the field. Again, just kind of helping direct, see how the students do. Again, these are 7th and 8th. Some of these kids maybe the first time they've ever had pads.
Yeah, it's a controlled scrimmage. That's what you want,
right?
So you can coach during the scrimmage.
Good.
To make corrections.
And off to number 11 again, and for the second time in about 3 minutes, Navy scores their second touchdown, and they now lead 12-0. And again, it's going to be the same offense against the same defense. And you know, you and I know this, they actually do some of this at the college level. I went up there to a Gator game, and they were doing the same exact thing.
Same thing, same controlled scrimmage.
So, did you do it this way when you did it at Cocoa?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Yes, all the coaches were on the field yelling and screaming. And I had a headache after that.
Oh, did he get it? Yes. All right. Nice extra point. That's 56. And that is Jace Benzara. Listen, you get a kid that can kick an extra point nowadays in high school, you got a pretty good weapon.
Oh, yeah.
I've even seen some really good teams here in Brevard automatically go for 2. So.
Oh, yeah. I think Cocoa Beach had a real good kicker last year.
I think so,
The
yes.
game that we did.
Yeah, I believe you're right. So, get back to the scrimmage. You got your, you had Chris Hill, Ron Shaw. Is today his birthday?
Yes.
Happy birthday, Ron Shaw. If you're not watching, then somebody will shout out to you. So when you had those individuals that you knew they were going to play, did you minimize their play during a scrimmage, or did you still give them the same opportunity?
No, gave them the same opportunity. You can't. A kid that wants to play, you can't take him off the field.
You can't keep a horse off the track. Right.
Chris Hall, who was a D1 quarterback went to Florida State and played defensive back.
Right.
But I'm going to protect him because I need him in the fall.
Right.
I don't need him in the hospital bed from a scrimmage.
No,
that would have I'd have got fired anyway if I'd have got him hurt. But
no offense, but we definitely don't want to go to Rockledge Regional as they're getting ready to sell.
Exactly.
But that's another story that Press Box won't get into. But but again, and I think by having, I'm guessing the coaches out there, that kind of controls a little bit of craziness that might occur where when they're in the Jamboree, you don't mind them going crazy, but not on each other. So
and it's good that I think he has the same grade level against each other right now, right?
Yeah, 7th and 8th grade. Yep. So this is just middle school. When we get to the second half, we'll go to the high school level. But again, what a great opportunity. 7th, 8th grade. Where did you go to middle school?
I went to Kennedy.
All right, I was at Clear Lake. I mean, I thought Foursquare was the best thing I'd ever seen, let alone playing football. All right, got a little handoff up the middle, a little stiff arm. Look at here, turning the corner. And, nice tackle. Number 52. I don't have him. We'll just call him Mr. 52. And now, too, what I liked about that, you saw he went low and knocked those feet out.
Yeah.
A lot of people would have tried to grab his shoulders and wouldn't have made that tackle.
Well, unfortunately, the corner didn't come up, turning him back inside.
Gotcha.
The corner's got to come up. You can't give him the outside. You got to come in and turn it back inside so the linebacker can make the tackle. You give him that number 11. He's got some speed here.
Right.
You give him that opportunity, he's going to score.
Another pass, wide open out there again, and that's another touchdown. My goodness. And I think last year you and I did a middle school game, and I think I heard that some of the middle schools actually play against some of the other combo schools. So that's kind of neat. Not only is this a great opportunity, but to go out there and hit somebody on a different school for 7th and 8th grade.
Oh yeah.
That's pretty good stuff.
Big time.
Yeah, that's got to be pretty good stuff.
It's interesting how these kids have developed over the years.
Yeah.
Again, I talk about the baseball game. You had an 8th grader pitching against seniors at Satellite.
Right.
These kids were hanging in there.
Yes.
I just
look at there. Is he 2 for 2 or 2 for 3? Good for him. Young man, don't take that jersey off. You might be playing next week. I don't know what the varsity has, but anytime I see 2 extra points, that's pretty good. So hopefully most of these kids, and you and I have talked about it, you've got 5 kids that played sports. I have 2, and like we tell them, summer conditioning isn't just for football players. It's for everybody.
Right.
What did you concentrate on during this? Because I know you can do you can't wear the pads, but you can do certain things in summer.
Yeah, in the summer, kids can go out on the field by themselves. You can't go out and coach them.
Like a captain's kind of, okay.
They can go out and throw the ball around, but we concentrated on the weight room.
Gotcha.
Strength and size.
A little stamina
in the
maybe.
weight room, A little running, getting in shape.
Listen, you and I know, because we talk a lot of college football, we're both Gator fans. I tell you, having a real good strength conditioning coach, and you and I, we'd be watching a game and texting back and forth, and you can see which teams start to falter in the fourth quarter because they're just not in that shape they should be.
Well, the first thing I did when I got to Cocoa High School, the weight room was horrible. It was pathetic. So we took down walls, put in new flooring, got all new equipment, put a lot of money into it, and changed things around. And
that changes the culture. And you and I have talked about that. For a kid to go into that weight room, and if it looks pathetic, I mean, that just brings him down.
It was crazy.
Yeah. Good for you. That's good. And remind me again, 1 year undefeated going into the regional finals, or had you lost one?
No, we were undefeated.
And you lost by what, one?
One.
Wow.
76 to Naples.
Wow.
I was missing Robert Brown, who ran a legitimate 4.4.
Whew.
He didn't play. If he'd have played, I'd have won the
Got a
state
different
championship.
quarterback out there. Nice little pass. Nice play by the defense. No gain. Again, if you're just joining us, this is the 7th and 8th graders here at Cocoa Beach Junior Senior High School. They get the first and second quarter 12-minute running clock, and then the varsity in the second half. So, so back then, and I know things have changed over the years, most of the jamborees were kind of kept in county?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, we didn't want to spend all that money on bus and travel and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
So it was a little different back then, I think, than it is nowadays. I don't know if it's just me or not, but there were some rivalries back then.
Oh yeah. 2nd and 9, a little running play up the middle, pickup of about 2.5. We're going to call it 3rd and a long 6. As the Navy against the White, again, middle schoolers. We got about 2.5 minutes left in the first quarter. Navy is up. Well, we know Navy's going to win because White's never going to carry. So that's a forgiven. Not only is Cocoa Beach going to win, we know Navy's going to win. But again, some nice plays on defense. Another pass out here. Picking up a little bit. Another nice tackle. Oh, got away from that. Tackled by 24.
24.
And that's Gavin Landers.
I think Gavin likes that contact. I like kids like that. I was a defensive coach.
Right.
I like kids that like that contact.
Right.
So, nice tackle.
And, I think that's something that we mentioned. We'll talk about Ted and Coach Kinney in a minute. We noticed that when we did the game against Taylor, which Cocoa Beach won. Those Cocoa Beach kids, they played all 4 quarters. They never stopped, and we're seeing that same type of a mentality today.
Oh, you'll get that with Ted Kinney.
Oh, yeah.
I guarantee it.
Picked up the first down. It's 1st and 10. It's at the White 25. Another pass out there to the flank. Going out to number 6, trying to turn that corner. 12 after him, and he's got it. And that's Cayman Veras. Doing a little victory dance out there.
Good job.
I was going to give him a 9, but the landing, I'm going to say 7.
Yeah,
because the landing, he did shake a little bit, so we're not
go over 7.
Hey, the good thing is they're not having to watch us out there doing a victory dance, because that might clear the stands.
I'd have to do like a disco dance or something. That's all I know.
Now I know the FHSAA, even during my time as a county athletic director, back in 2016, came out with some new parameters that they didn't have when you coached in the 80s. But look at there, is he 3 for 4? My goodness. All right, we need to get some college coaches in here. We got a 7th or 8th graders kicking extra points. You don't see that too. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no kidding, right? But you guys were smart back then, and you didn't need the FHSAA to tell you what to do.
Yeah.
Practice in the morning, some do split, come back in the evening with the heat. How did you strategically plan your summer conditioning because of that?
But we had, sometimes, kids work, right? Kids have to work.
Right.
So we'd have the weight room open in the morning and in the afternoon.
Okay.
Now, when we actually got into 2-a-days, back then you had 2-a-day practices.
Gotcha.
Actually, we went 3-a-days because we would break it up. We'd have 3 practices during the day.
So would that include everybody, or did you have different squad?
Everybody.
Okay.
Everybody.
Okay. Gotcha.
And those were murderous.
For you or for the players?
Oh, all of us. Me too. I was like,
what am I thinking? Who's in charge around here?
I was young and a little crazy back then, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
So, but it was a lot of fun back then.
So let me ask you this, and again, your coaching experience, I was blessed that able to serve as a county AD for a few years. Did the head coaches talk much back in the day? Did you? I know we had the rivalries, but did you all, like during the summer, did you just talk shop a little bit, or did that not happen?
Not much, because back then all we had was a telephone.
Yeah, right.
I think with social media, I would shoot off a text or something to Coach Odom or something.
That's a good point.
But I would, especially with Coach Hodgins, who was the defense coordinator at Merritt Island, I would talk to him all the time. I was his understudy when I interned and coached at Merritt Island High School.
Right.
And I would call him and bounce some things off. So
Okay. Very cool.
And there were, back then too, we had rivalries with some coaches that we didn't necessarily like that well. You know what I mean? So you really didn't correspond with them too much.
Well, and let me interrupt. So, and you got to remember, back then we had less schools, so the rivalries meant more. And for some of those that aren't from Brevard County, like you and I are, it was kind of cool when I was at the district office. We had all the minutes from back in the 60s, Cape Coast Conference. Well, we were so small. Vero Beach was in the Cape Coast Conference. Fort Pierce was in the Cape Coast Conference.
2 great teams.
Because we only had 6 or 7, 8 teams up here.
Yep.
So you're right. Back then, I mean, think about it today. Let's say we didn't have a Space Coast. Or let's say we didn't have an astronaut. Or a Heritage or a Bayside. Man, I'm telling you, we'd have some stud teams.
All you have to do is go down and look at the football stadium at Palm Bay.
Right.
That is a college stadium. Small college stadium.
Right.
That was built millions of dollars. But that was before Bayside, Heritage, Palm Bay was a huge school. But now they can't fill the stadium. They can't fill it. But it's so big. I mean, goodness.
They were blessed that, which I still can't fathom, that FIT, when they got their football program, and they did real well, they put some money into that stadium and was able to add to that. And what's kind of cool is they got a press box on each side. But, and you know what school I'm talking about. It might be Lowndes when you're going up 75 in Georgia. And that's what Palm Bay, that concrete stands. I mean, it's so cool.
There.
Okay.
Bill McCall left Cocoa. That's where he went.
Okay, I knew he went to Georgia. But driving by it, it just speaks of history, you know. And if I remember correctly, and you correct me if I'm wrong, back in the day, whatever conference that was, they said was the strongest in the country.
It's
Georgia
football. You know, our good friend Terry Humphrey. He coaches. I'm not sure which school, but he's up there at
one of them.
Big football
He's living the dream, retired and coaching football.
But the stress level is phenomenal because you've got to win. You got to win, and they get paid well. Football coaches get paid very well, just like Texas. You know, not so much in Florida.
And speaking of Terry, we got his brother Mike watching us. We always appreciate Mike tuning in. He's a supporter of Press Box. So
Humphrey family just. Great people. They are. Coached with Bill Humphrey, their dad. Terry. Bill was a guru of Wishbone, just a great guy.
Man, I'd love to see somebody bring that back.
Oh yeah.
I loved watching Oklahoma back in the day, or even the academies now. Air Force would do that, Navy, Army. I love watching that.
We ran it to perfection at Cocoa because Bill was just unbelievable.
Wow. I never had the pleasure of meeting him. All right, we're starting the second quarter. The offense is up 27-0. All right, got another pass play out there to number 2, getting some more guys in the mix. Running down the sideline. Nice little jersey tackle by number 12, Arturo Stanley. And that's number 2 on the carry, Anthony Cerruti.
I don't know who their offensive coordinator is, but they're only going with one play here.
Well, we've had a few running plays, but you're right. But we have mixed it up. We've had a left-handed quarterback and a right-handed.
Just that quick.
So they're mixing it up both sides of the field. And again, if you're just joining us, we got the coaches out there as a controlled scrimmage. These are the 7th and 8th graders here. All right, here we go. Back out to number 2 again. Nice little tackle. It might be the same guy. No, that's number 70. Braden Wyman. Haven't called his name tonight. So, and I tell you, we talked about this earlier. I'm impressed by the tackling. You know, they're not bouncing off. They're going low. They're going at the legs.
I mean, he's got some great coaches out there. He's got a coach that coached with him at Satellite, and I can't remember his name right now, but he's from Georgia. He's a defensive coach, and you know he's going to teach these kids how to tackle properly.
Right. No, I've been real impressed. You know, they haven't been going high, going off the shoulders, where a good stiff arm. All right, so it's second down and about 4 inches. Needless to say, it's a running play. So I'm going to refer to my experts. Who is number 11 again?
That is Arturo Stanley.
Arturo Stanley.
Full right back and quarterback. He's the lefty.
Okay, gotcha.
Southpaw.
Arturo Stanley, number 11. He's got a lot of touches today.
The other quarterback is Kenny.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay. All right. Again, Coach Kimmy and Mr. Powers, the principal, both have sons out there playing, so that's always a cool thing. Something you and I got to experience. Nothing better, and you're still experiencing.
Yes.
Watching your daughter get ready to move on to a 4-year college. Good for her.
College.
All right, we went to the other side, out there to Arturo Stanley.
Yeah, they just went to the national volleyball tournament.
Wow.
Beach volleyball in Huntsville, Alabama.
For the
JUCO,
to
yeah.
watch. Oh, wow.
Yeah, they participated. They did really well.
So, you know, it's funny because
came in
Alabama, also does the 4-year championship. So Alabama's got a. So how did they do?
They came in like third.
Wow,
Third in the
good for
nation,
them.
So yeah.
Now, and she's moving on. Where? Remind me.
Manchester University.
And do they have up in New Hampshire? Do they
New
have
Hampshire.
beach or not?
Yeah, they got
They do.
beach.
How about that?
They got
All right.
Beach.
All right.
And they got indoor.
And regular.
I
All right.
prefer indoor.
Yeah.
Beach, I get a little bored, but you know, indoor,
Yeah, I know.
it's a little more exciting.
Yeah. All right, so it's second down and about 13. Pass play to number 24. Nice tackle. Again, we keep talking about that, but that defense stepping up. Let's see what that young man's number is. Number 12 on the number 12 on the tackle.
Good tackle.
All right, so it's not Arturo Stanley. Oh, maybe it's William Sermon. Okay, William Sermon. Nice tackle. I mean, that was a perfect example of a wraparound.
Really good tackle there, you know. Back in the day, you could use your helmet to tackle, but nowadays you can't. We would say, you know, put the face mask on the number and wrap them up.
Gotcha.
But now you got to kind of like turn and use your shoulder.
Right, yep. You know, and the sad thing, and I get that, and you do too, but the tough thing is sometimes the defender is going in for a tackle, and because the offensive guy moves, now he's got his helmet on him when he didn't intend to do that.
Yes.
And you hate to see that penalty.
Yeah, you get moved from the game.
Yeah, you're going for his legs. All of a sudden, he puts his head down.
Yeah.
Well, you know, there you go. All right, so I got to tell you real quick, that is the biggest yellow flag
Sure.
that Coach Kimmy has. So I was going to say, has it got
I think it's a penny.
Does it have Pittsburgh written on it? Is it a penny? All right, for anybody playing lacrosse, if you're missing a penny or soccer, we know where it's at. I thought maybe it was one of those Pittsburgh Steeler towels that he was waving around. So listen, between Coach Kimmy and throwing the towel, nobody is going to be confused that the play has stopped. We got third, and let's call it about 18. Let's see what they do on a, all right, going down. Oh, nice up there pickup. Look at there. He might go. Oh, and stop short. Nice play over the middle. That's a big young fella there. That can pin it. Man, that is a...
Is it safe to say that Cocoa Beach is going to throw the ball this year?
Well, you know, I'm telling you, it'd be interesting to see what happens in the second half. Again, this is 7th and 8th graders. If you just joined us, second half will be, excuse me, varsity. And again, as the gentlemen up here that are helping us out a little bit, the Navy is always going to be the offense, the white's the defense. But we have noticed, Doug, that we've gotten a few that's gone from both sides. So again, he's probably still trying to figure out where they need to go.
Right, he's getting a little, you know, in high school, sometimes you got to have kids play both ways.
Yeah, you do.
They got to get in shape and they got to suck it up and play. You know, I had that at Cocoa, I had it at Rockledge, I had it at Merritt Island. You know, you got to go with your best athletes.
Yeah, and I will tell you, and you correct me if I'm wrong, most high schools do that. But when you start seeing teams like your Cocoa and your Merritt Island and your Rockledge, Titusville now coming up, where they don't have to use those kids that much. Now they're starting to take off because that poor kid's not playing 90%. So
yeah, some schools are like that. I know Satellite was like that. They played most of their kids one way. I didn't understand that concept, but I always said you got to get in shape to play 4 quarters.
Right.
You know.
Well, and you bring up a good point. You want your best athletes out there. My son did both ways for a couple of games. Let me tell you, and he was in great shape. But wow.
Yeah,
oh, nice little rush there. Who was that? That is number 62. That is, okay, that is a middle school kid. All right, I got to see what his diet is. 8th grade. Oh my goodness. Wow. Wow. Well, the quarterback knows who he is, that's for sure. Holy mackerel. Look at that. Man, 62. All right, I don't have his number. Got a name? I don't have it. Rats. I'm just going to call him Big Fella. Man, I want to see what he does this play. Look at his helmet. He is head and shoulders. All right, let's see here.
Probably didn't have a black helmet to defend.
My gosh.
That's a big boy.
All right, let's see. I think the fullback's in there to block. Look at it. He's just pushing the line back.
Gracious.
Pushed him around. Quarterback's going to keep it. We haven't seen a quarterback keeper yet. Nice little, again, there's a nice tackle. 12 on 11. We've called his name a couple of times. Stanley. Yeah. Well, no, it's not. It's Sermon. Right. Yeah.
Sermon?
Yeah.
That's
Sermon.
a nice tackle.
And let me ask you, the schools that you coached at, did you also work there as well?
Right, yeah.
And you and I have talked about this before. We are so blessed that we have community coaches that we can depend on. But there's nothing like walking the halls, let's say seeing that 8th grader, number 62, and saying, hey, come here for a second.
Right.
You know, and that's one of the good things.
Yeah, that's one of the positive things about having a coaching staff on site.
Right.
You know, that are teachers also.
Right.
There's a lot of community coaches in Brevard County.
All right, we got another 3rd and long 7. He gets away from one tackle. He's got 2 guys coming. All right, so that's got to be a little confusing. He's got 3 guys with white jerseys, and then he sees a Navy jersey, and he's probably going, hey, block, and he goes, no, I'm going to tackle you. But that's all right. That keeps him sharp. I guess you just tell him, run away from everybody.
Yeah, I think if you had put like a vest, you know, like an orange vest on all the
Just
defensive players.
Yeah, that's since he's mixing them up a little.
I'll have to remind Kevin to do that next year.
Yeah.
Coach up here.
I'm sure he wants to hear from us about. All right, so we got a 3rd and 10. Again, we're at the, I guess we'll say the white 40-yard line. No score in the second quarter. They scored 4 touchdowns in the first quarter, but defense has stepped up with 3 minutes left in the first half. It's still 27-0 offense over defense. And actually, when I think about it, I don't remember. I think the colleges, they do have 2 offenses and 2 defenses, so that both can get out there.
Yeah.
Again, another nice tackle.
Colleges do.
That's number 11. That is Arturo Stanley. Boy, we've called his name out a lot today. It'll be interesting, like I say, next Friday, and as we get to halftime, we'll go over some of this. They're going to be playing a Jamboree at Colonial. There's probably going to be some of these kids over there.
Oh, yeah.
From what I'm seeing.
That'll be a good road trip for them.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's, and I'll go over the teams in a minute. When I look at the records, it's going to be competitive, which, and you and I have talked about that. You want to give them experience, but these are young kids.
Right.
You don't want to put them in a situation where they get waxed and you're like, well, it was a great experience.
Right,
I'm thinking, no, it wasn't, because they're going to remember that loss.
I'll be honest with you, Bill. When I was scheduling, I always try to get teams that I thought I could beat.
Right.
You know, especially your opening date. If you don't want to, I wouldn't want to, if I was Cocoa Beach, I wouldn't want to open up with Cocoa.
Right.
Or if I was Satellite, I wouldn't want to open up with Cocoa. You want a team that you can possibly compete with and win. That's going to give you a lot more confidence going into the season.
Right. That was number 70, Braden Wyman, in on the tackle. Again, if it's one thing we can take, or 2 things we can take away from what we've seen, we see Kimmy's high-powered offense, and we've seen some great tackling.
Oh, definitely some good tackling as well as offensive plays.
So
Kimmy does a good. He's an offensive guy.
Oh, yeah. 3rd and about 5. Quarterback, left-handed. Pass over there to number 24. Nice coverage by White, but no, and Blue and Navy. Let's see. I don't know if he got there, but it'll be close. We're gonna see which coach spots it, the defensive coach or the offensive coach. It looks like the offensive coach posted it, so they do pick up a first down on that one. Nice little running play, broke a few tackles. And again, that's what's great about this, is giving them that opportunity. They can go back and watch film and just see what, and for a kid this young, it's just invaluable.
Oh yeah, it's a good experience for them. Grow up a little bit.
Right.
And getting some good coaches. You got some good coaches out there for Cocoa Beach.
All right, got 1st and 10, going for the long ball, turned around the other way. But it was good to see that.
Tim Tebow out there.
Yeah, I was going to say. Well, that kind of looked like a Danny Werfel ball, actually. Danny had some good stats, but it wasn't pretty, as you and I know. We got a few seconds left, and that's the end of the first half. Again, nice play. Again, what you just watched was the 7th and 8th graders here at Cocoa Beach Junior Senior High School. Nice round of applause. We got 100, 150 people out here. Just a great thing.
I always like coming to Cocoa Beach.
Yeah,
it feels like home. It feels like home to me,
And we talk about it. We're blessed that any school we go to, I think because of the connections we have, they always treat us like gold. But it's just, if it's that small town, if it's, again, even today, here it is an inter-squad game on a Friday, 100 and some people out here. We know Coach Kimmy, we know Coach Gowdy, the AD down, Coach Helton. It's just, they're just good people. And
nothing better than Friday night under the lights.
Even if it's men.
Yeah.
it doesn't matter.
Well, we know it's coming. We're getting excited.
Yeah, exactly.
We know that college football is coming. We're getting excited for we are both Gator fans, so sorry, Seminoles, but we are looking forward to it.
Oh my gosh, I'm looking forward to it. All right, so I got to ask you to change the subject, and we're going to talk a little bit about Cocoa Beach. Have you watched any of the UFL or whatever it's called?
I watched a little bit.
I watched some one day. It wasn't bad, but it's kind of like Canadian. A lot of those guys I don't know, and it's just, but they're out there trying to get an opportunity.
Trying to get that break.
To go back
what I like to do? I got YouTube on my TV, so I'll go back and watch the Gators when Steve Spurrier coached.
Right.
To make me feel good.
Well, I think you have to go back that far to see when they won. I think if holy mackerel.
I'm trying to remain positive this year. I know we've got a lot of good players in there. You've got that 5-star quarterback coming up. I'm excited.
Yeah, me too. All right, again, if you just joined us, that was the 7th and 8th graders here at Cocoa Beach. Varsity is getting ready to come up shortly. Again, it's going to be 12-minute quarters. I believe it's a running clock except for timeouts and special teams. And then in the 4th quarter, the last 2 minutes, they will stop the clock. So we want to give a couple shout-outs. I guess the good thing about today is we really only have to talk about Cocoa Beach. So I didn't have to spend too much time last night doing the research that you and I do. We do want to tip our hat to Mr. Powers. I didn't realize, but up until now, he's been the interim principal. And at the next board meeting on May the 14th, congratulations, Mr. Powell. The interim goes away, and he will officially be the principal of Cocoa Beach Junior Senior High School. And we talked about him during one of the baseball games. I remember Dr. Thetty, who hired me as the county athletic director. She would tell new principals, you either get behind athletics or you're going to get under it. Well, we got a gentleman over here that was the head coach at O'Galley. So again, he has that mindset to know how important, not just football, and really not just sports, but activities.
Yeah, sports and activities, band, whatever it is.
Whatever.
Kids are involved. And
right.
You, as a principal,
right.
You're the leader. You have to support all of the sports programs. It's not an easy job being a principal.
No, not at all.
It's not an easy job.
Right.
You got to support everybody, and you got to work it out and smooth out things that occur. So he's doing a great job for it on here at Cocoa Beach. So
yeah, he is.
that's off to him.
Looking a little bit about Mr. Powers, since again all we're going to talk about pretty much is Cocoa Beach. As we mentioned, he was the head coach at O'Galley for 8 years. He coached until the end of the 17 season. He led the Commodores to their first regional appearance since 1998, back in 2013. And actually in 2015, he was the State of Florida PE Teacher of the Year. The next year, he was a Regional PE Teacher of the Year in the Southeastern District. So again, hats off to Mr. Power. When you and I came out in the fall, great individual. The football coach at that time was Ben Waltrip. He did step away after his 3 years, and he is now the defensive coordinator up at Astronaut. So from Press Box, we want to wish him all the best. And I want to take a moment, since you brought up Astronaut, that a good friend of ours, a good friend of mine, Cheryl Shivel, getting ready to retire, athletic director at Astronaut. She was one of a handful of people when I became the athletic director that I knew immediately if I had a question, she was somebody I could call, and even without a question, just somebody that I could pick up the phone and talk to. So, Ms. Shivel, thanks for all you've done. You not only raised the bar at Astronaut, but for the whole Brevard County, as far as I'm concerned. And we've worked with some really great.
Yeah, she's done a great job up there.
She has, and so we wish her all the best. And I hope I don't mispronounce his name. They have named a new athletic director, Matt. I believe it's Alstead. I'm sorry if I mess it up. I forgot to write it down. But Coach Matt, congratulations on being the new athletic director at Astronaut. New football coach. We talked about him earlier, Ted Kimmy. You know, did a phenomenal job at Cocoa High School. In 5 seasons, he led the Scorps to a 36-16 record, most by any head coach at Satellite High School. And this is what's amazing. His last year, GPA 3.31, every senior graduated. So, again, that's the main focus, whether you're going to play at the next level.
We know he's a West Point graduate, and he did just a phenomenal job at Satellite.
He did. Thank him for his service, served in the Army. Mr. Jones over here doing announcing, served in the Air Force. And actually, Coach Kimmy did a little bit of coaching youth and semi-pro in Germany, I'm guessing when he was stationed over there. And you know, we've talked about Ted before, and you and I have had the discussions about when do schools go independent, when do they not. There's some schools in the area that have been talking about it a few years ago when I was still working, but they have a great tradition. Maybe not the best move. Now they've hired some new coaches, and like Titusville High School with Coach Holmes has picked up that program. But you know what? He took a chance. He went independent. He had to get the crowd back in the stands, get the kids organized. You saw that difference.
I was there. I was there when it occurred, and Mark Elliott, who was principal at that time, we met with Dr. DePatra,
okay.
who was the superintendent of our public schools.
Right.
And we talked to him about this because we had like 18 losing seasons in football. We dreaded football season.
Yeah.
You know, as an administration because we had to supervise.
Yeah.
But we were begging him to let us go independent.
Right. I remember he had to get permission.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we were begging him to do that so that we could rebuild this program. Because, you know, kids jump school. They don't leave if you're not winning. They'll leave. So Coach Kimmy came in and we went independent, kept the kids at Satellite, built the program, then got back into the district, which was just a phenomenal job. I'm glad that he stuck around long enough to build it. You got to keep the coach around to build the program as well. So he did a great job.
Well, and you know, you hit on something important. It's not just the kids on the field. And I went to a lot of those games. Again, my daughter, you know, went to school at Satellite and played a couple sports there, and so I'd go out and, you know, every Friday I was somewhere watching a game, and I saw that change, and I like what he did. It wasn't just the players on the field, it was the whole mindset. And all of a sudden I'm going to these games, the stands are full. Now you've got 90 kids coming out to play football, because when you said 18 a minute ago, I thought you were talking about how many kids would play on the field. It was kind of that close.
It was close.
And he brought that excitement back, and I'll never forget the first year that they went. You know, you're allowed to play like an extra game. I think they played Daytona, Father Lopez.
Right.
It was packed. And they won that game. So for what they were trying to accomplish, that was what success looked like.
Oh, absolutely. And you know, You got the band out there too.
Right.
You got 100
Oh,
members
great
of
band
the
at
band. You got
Satellite,
all
yeah.
the parents come and support the band.
Right.
I mean, he had it rocking and rolling. I'll tell you what. Just kids aren't dumb. They got to play for
Right.
a coach that they respect.
Right.
And that knows what they're doing.
Right.
And Coach Kimmy's that man.
Well, and you know, and hats off to Coach Waldrop too, because in the past 3 years when he's coached, we've seen the same thing here at Cocoa Beach. People in the stands, kids out there. So again, they had a great man move on, but they filled some pretty good shoes.
Sure.
All right, now we're going to flip it over. Third quarter. Now we've got the varsity. So again, we got Navy versus White. I think we don't need to take bets on we don't need to go to ESPN bet or any of those. We know Cocoa Beach is going to win, and they're probably going to be wearing a blue jersey. So playing quarterback, let me flip my page here. For the Navy is Ryan Rogers, and I had him start. Let me see. Playing quarterback again. They are starting on their own 35. So yeah, he read that. And that is 6 points going in the opposite direction. Touchdown defense. Oh, he read that like a glove. Oh, my goodness. Perfect defense. All right, so number 2. We don't have a number 2. We're going to call him. Am I looking at the right one?
Oh, that's the name.
Oh, you got to flip it up. That's the middle school.
Oh.
Yep. I don't have a number 2. But, man, you just, and a lot of times we've seen a guy drop it because his eyes get so big.
Yeah,
Man, nice play.
You think you've seen that play a couple times?
I'm gonna wonder. Well, that's kind of neat. That's kind of neat to see that. Okay, so let me back up. Maybe it's not a gimme that the Navy side wins today. That was nice. That was nice to see the defense. But man, he ran that thing back about 40 yards. So right now we've got the defense leading in the third quarter, 6-0. All right, let's see how the varsity. Because the junior varsity, or the middle school, he kicked, 3 out of 4 extra points.
Yeah.
So the pressure's on the varsity kid. Let's see what he does. Stepping it off, going to come over to the left a few. Maybe not. Sometime, there he goes. And that is number 14, Keelan Gonzalez. Let's see how he does. Because he's got a young man in 8th grade or 7th grade that he's looking to move up. And that's up. Nice. All right. I like that. Very good. That's 4 out of 5 today.
Yeah.
So the defense, 7-0. And I do want to read off. I did not. Let me go back to my notes here.
So this is actual scrimmages. They're split up evenly.
They are split up. Okay. So.
It'll be Navy versus White.
Okay. Good. Okay. All right. So they each have, okay, good. Real quick, the team captain of the white team is rising senior defensive back, linebacker, number 8, Kyler Coe. And I remember calling his name a lot when we were out here for the Taylor game. And the team captain for Navy is rising senior defensive lineman, offensive lineman, 72, Zachary Whitaker. So Whitaker and Coe are your 2 team captains today. All right, Navy back on offense. Oh, a little high. Throw it out there in the slant. Nice play by the defense. Let me read about it, and hopefully I pronounce him right. Of course, we said Ted Kimmey. He is the head coach, also offensive line, because that's what he played in college. We have on the offensive side, Sean Ashley, DJ Kennedy, and Jason Gash. Defensive coordinator, Rick Dormany. Defensive staff includes Dan Coe, whose son is playing tonight, Pete Petcharillo, and I hope I got that right, Brandon Fontreau, Vady Clark, special teams, Josh Roberts, and Nico Ballestieri. So again, we recognize some of those names from last season as well as from kids playing. Looks like he's got a pretty good staff.
Sure does, and just with good run up the middle there.
And that's a question I was going to ask you. So as a head coach, did you serve as a coordinator or did you have to?
Yeah, I was first few years I was defense coordinator.
Okay.
And then I turned it loose and Terry Humphrey became our defensive coordinator.
So as a head coach, and I've always wondered about this, when you have 2 coordinators, whether it's college or high school level, do you really step back and let them make the calls, or how does that work?
Okay, you can override it.
Okay, I was just you have a veto vote.
Because at some schools, your job's on the line. You know,
you're right,
game,
exactly.
So
yeah,
you got to make sure they don't get crazy.
Okay,
Try to do some trick play or something that you've never heard of.
Yeah,
they draw it up on the side.
Yeah.
So you can override them.
All right, nice little blocking by the offensive line. Quarterback keeper.
Tripped him up.
You did trip him up. Use that momentum.
But it's good if you got competent people. You want to try to bring them up. You know, if they want to be head coaches, you got to give them that experience. You got to turn them loose,
right,
and bring them up. And they're hard workers and they want to do it. Yeah.
Well, I think you bring up a good note. There's people that are responsible, and then there's people that are accountable.
Yes, exactly.
So sometimes the accountables have to kind of step in and say, okay, okay, all right.
I always wanted to be the defense coordinator.
He also threw the interception. He likes to mix it up. He likes to help out both teams. You know what I mean?
He wants to be
a team player.
Everybody's friend.
Right, absolutely.
And is that Ryan Rogers?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. That's the quarterback, Ryan Rogers, on the keeper. Picked up the first down, 1st and 10. Oh, there goes the towel.
Number 5, he's the slot back there. He's got to watch the ball. You know, you can't.
I will say though, we haven't seen too many yellow towels, so you know.
Well, I can guarantee you that Ted Kimmy's team will be prepared, and penalties will be minimal. He's not going to put a product out on the field that's going to be embarrassing.
And you know, I'm glad you mentioned that. I don't know if people put enough emphasis on that. How important, you know, the penalties and the offs, you know, the running of the clock, just in staying. Oh, nice play by 23. Who was that? That is Alden Miller.
I had one of the Coco had a hill that was like 40 yards at a 45-degree angle.
On campus?
Yeah.
I remember that hill.
By the track.
I avoided that hill.
Yeah, and if you made, mistakes in the game or in practice, you had to run that hill.
Was that like the hill of shame or something?
Yeah. I don't know if you can get away with that nowadays.
Or the hill of opportunity. Maybe that's what it was.
That opportunity.
Hill of
to get
opportunity.
In shape. That's what we told them. So, yeah.
I remember that. Wow. All right, so also the play thanks to a nice tackle by Mr. Miller, number 23. So we got 2nd down and about 20. Let's see what the offense has in store to pick up a big chunk of this back. Oh, did he get back though? Or did he? Oh, he might have touched somebody. Okay.
Well, there's another example of key the ball, dummy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
Key the ball. If he hadn't snapped the ball, why are you moving?
Right.
That used to drive me crazy. That would put you on the hill. That would put you on the hill.
Yeah,
So you got to key the ball.
We don't have any hills over here on the beach side, but Coach Cook will give you a lift back over to Coco.
Yeah.
All right, so they picked 5 yards back up on the penalty. 2nd down and 15 for Navy. Number 3 at quarterback, Ryan Rogers with the call. Looking over at Coach Kimmy. Uh-oh, instead of the ball. So they called it dead. So are they going to give him a freebie? Does he get a pass on that one? What are we going to do on that, Coach?
Quarterback and center mixed something up there. I'm not sure what happened. But I've seen that happen. That's happened in college.
Yeah. Pros too. All right, so let's see. What are we doing here? He's got they're going to go back on the other side.
That was a penalty against the defense.
Trying to figure out. Nope, going back. Nope, going back. All right.
Do-over.
I guess so. Yeah, I guess so.
Oh, it's against the offense. 5 yards.
All right, so there goes. So he's given a little bit of a penalty for that. All right, so we got 3rd. I don't know, Coach. What do you think about 17?
Yeah, about 17. But that's what inter-squad games are about. Jamboree's about. Get those mistakes out early.
Right. All right, 3rd and 17. Quarterback, we have number 3, Ryan Rogers. We're looking it over. Got the clap going. Oh, a little high, but he picked it off. Oh, I thought that was going to get picked off again. No, look at there. That's a nice pickup. Did he not quite to the first, but he got close. It's going to make it a 4th and short. I don't know if we've seen anybody go for it, but maybe we did in the middle school, 4th down, but Nice play.
That's a dangerous
That
pass.
was almost another pick six. He was about a half a step short of that. So
That's why I ran the wishbone.
Yeah,
We
right.
didn't throw the ball
if you
much.
pick off the wishbone, you deserve the score.
A couple of bad things can happen when you throw the ball. So
Yeah.
we ran the wishbone, passed very little.
So did Chris do a lot of passing back in the day? Or
We did some.
some of that? Okay.
We did a little bit. We had something called a Kokoruski. We scored on the first play against Titusville.
Oh, wow.
With a halfback pass. We changed his jersey, put him at halfback, and let him throw the ball for a touchdown.
All within the rules.
80-yard touchdown. Yeah, it was good rules.
All right, 4th and 3. What is he going to? Oh, trying to pull him off? No. Let's see. Running clocks. I don't even know if they have a play clock. Stop the clock. Okay. For Cocoa Beach fans, just so you know, if later on, if your son, grandson, friend is out there watching, this will be on our Facebook page, Pressbox Overtime. However, late tonight, depending on how the Boston-Florida hockey game goes, I will either tonight or in the morning load the game up on my YouTube channel, also Pressbox Overtime, to make it easier for you to find. Feel free to download it, watch it, whatever. But again, by tomorrow morning, mid-morning, because I'm not an early riser on the weekends,
Yes.
you'll find this video. It will be on Facebook, but thanks to the 472 followers, we get a lot of posts every day, and it's going to move that video down, but it will be on the YouTube channel. Also, for Cocoa Beach fans, next Friday, Coach Cook and I were talking about it, May 17th, Cocoa Beach will be in a Jamboree with Gateway out of Kissimmee at Colonial over in Orlando, kickoff at 6 p.m. And Coach, this was something I was talking about, and I think you hit it on the head when you look at opportunity, experience, and capability of putting your team in a position to win. So last year, Cocoa Beach finished 3-7. Gateway, who I remembered years ago had a pretty stout team, they were 0-10 last year, and Colonial was 1-9. So that might be a nice little jamboree to be in.
From what I remember, both of those programs have been down for a while. They've had a couple good years here and there.
Right.
But not football powerhouse. for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
But yeah, it should be a great experience for the Cocoa Beach to go over there
And show
play an
up.
out-of-county,
Yeah. You know,
out-of-county team.
and you know better than I, back in the day, Orange County was like us. You know, it was Colonial, Oak Ridge, Evans, Jones.
Yeah.
You
Winter
had five,
Park.
Winter
Winter
Park.
Park.
Oh yeah, you had 5 or 6 teams that consistently were. So again, that's next Friday, 17th. Cocoa Beach will be traveling to Colonial High School in Orlando with Gateway out of Kissimmee for a jamboree. Moving ahead, because we think it's far away, but we know it's not. Season opener is August the 23rd at Lake Placid. And the first home game right here at Cocoa Beach Junior Senior High School is the 30th, hosting Cambridge Christian out of Tampa. I did notice on their schedule, Space Coast, Bayside, and Holy Trinity are the only 3 teams out of Brevard that they play, because they are in the Sunshine State Athletic Association, which again we talked about. That's probably a good place right now for them to be.
Good place to be. Build your team.
Be competitive. All right, got another passing play. Okay, it was it's still in bounds too. I don't know. I
Well,
guess
I'm
we'll,
sure that
we'll-
Coach Kimmy
Yeah.
has coached him up to get on the ball. Because you
Yeah,
don't know if
because
that's a lateral or not.
and he
you
kept
know?
looking at it. Right.
Don't look at it. Get
Yeah,
on
exactly.
It. You know,
If
so
you're wrong, then you just hand it back to the official.
that's another coaching
Right,
thing.
opportunity. Right,
Coaching
yeah.
opportunity.
Yeah. All right, so that was a incomplete pass, second down. We got 40 seconds left in the third quarter. Again, the White leads 7-0.
Timeout.
Somebody call a timeout. Okay, got a timeout. You know, one thing I noticed too when I looked at their roster from last year, they didn't have a lot of seniors, had a lot of 8th and 10th graders. I'm going to say, I don't know, there might have been 70, 60, 70 kids out today.
Yeah.
So again,
Good number,
when I looked at their stats, the top 4 rushers last year are all back. And that is Garber, Chavez, Burke, and Coe. So that helps.
I think you're going to see more kids play football. As a matter of fact, my 3-year-old grandson, I've got him hitting right now. That NIL money is good money,
exactly,
buddy. I tell you what,
exactly.
he can take care of Grandpa.
You said, listen,
NIL
Granddaddy like to get a new Jeep one day, and I want to see
Mercedes.
a Mercedes. Okay, well let's keep it humble now, Coach.
Let's put him in there. Let's teach him football and get that NIL money.
And here's another thing that is just as exciting. So we just told you about Garber, Chavez. Garber rushing had 871 yards last year, Chavez 537, and Coe and Burke over 100. So not only are those four back, those four were actually the top 4 receiving yardage back. So again, you've got some pretty good offense coming back this year.
Good nucleus going into the season. I didn't realize that. Those kids were really, the game that we did last year, those kids were super.
Right, oh yeah, Coe. And listen, any coach, and even though Kimmy's got the experience, but new to Cocoa Beach, if you're going to get your top 4 offensive players back, I'd be pretty happy with that.
Oh yeah, I would be. Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so we have 31 seconds left in the third quarter.
I think it's going to be very competitive with that group.
Yeah, I think it's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun year to watch. And you know, when I look at the teams that they're playing, Bayside and Space Coast, right? Is he going to keep it? A little stutter step, a little juking back and forth.
Nice little move,
Not
yeah.
quite. We got number 40 on the tackle, and that is Langston Long on the carry, quarterback Ryan Rogers. But when I look at, now Holy Trinity, pretty good team. Space Coast and Bayside, actually, you know, Bayside, actually, now that I think about it, I think Space Coast and Bayside are both independent. I believe so, unless they change for next year. So, again, those could be some competitive games for all of them, actually.
Right. And you know, think about it too, where kids jump ship and go to other schools.
Yeah.
It does get, if you go independent, it does give you an opportunity to build a program. And maybe once you start winning, you get back in the conference, kids will stay at your school.
Well, and you know, and we kidded a little bit earlier, I don't remember if it was on camera or not, about, you know, no coach ever had a press conference that said, well, it doesn't matter if we win today. But I think, like you said, it's not just the winning, it's just the culture. You want them to have fun. Like Coach Kimmy and Coach Waldrop, you want a coach that you know believes in you. All right, looking for a pass out there. Oh, a nice tackle by Dick Butkus, number 55. That is Jack Matson. Man, you wear 55, you got to live up to it, and that young man sure did. So.
He's a big kid, too.
Man, look at that. That is a linebacker. I'm looking at that young man right now. Oh, my gosh.
You know, we talk about kids jumping ship. You know, back when I played or coached at Cocoa, Rockledge, there was a team on the island. I'm not going to say any names, but they would take some of our kids before we started to win.
Okay.
All right, and this is a perfect example. When we first got to Cocoa had 3 losing seasons. We came in first year we were 5-5.
Wow.
Second year we were 12-1 regional champs. So the kids, they didn't leave after that.
Right.
So they didn't want to jump ship because they knew that they could be competitive and win some games.
And I think you hit on a great point, especially with your experience. We all want to win. We all want to get a championship.
Oh, yeah.
But we want an opportunity, and we want to feel like anytime we go on the field, we have a chance.
Right.
And until, like Kimmy did at Cocoa Beach, Waldrop did a little bit of that, or at Satellite, until you build that back, those kids are either not going to stay or they're not going to play. But once they, you know what, I might only win 5 games, but we're going to be in all 10 of them.
Right. And the thing about it too, you're playing with your buddies. You know, your buddies in your community. Yeah. There's going to be lifelong friends.
Right.
And that's the cool part.
Right. Yeah, that's something and you know, I talked when I was at the middle school level and talking to kids about opportunities. When you go to your high school reunions, those are the guys you hate. You go to your teammates.
Yeah.
That like you say, that's a bond that won't ever be broken. Right. Whatever sport or activity, band that you're involved in.
Whatever.
Yeah. All right, got a little pass play on the white from 11 to number 6. Nice little tackle again.
Picked up a couple more yards.
So that's the white team. That is Remy. Is it Vigne? Bean? Okay.
Looks like we're picking up some more fans here tonight.
That's what I'm saying. And actually, Remy Bean, he last year didn't play a lot at quarterback, but's got some experience. Threw for a touchdown, 179 yards and 12 completions. So again, he's bringing a quarterback back that's got some experience from last year. So nice little play. That was complete to number 6, Brennan Burke.
Good nucleus coming
A
back.
little high. Got to work on that. He gets rid of it. Oh, pass number 3. Nice tackle by number 7. That is Preston Sherrill.
He was fighting for his life there.
Yeah, right, yeah.
You know,
he was in a sea of Navy.
If he could have thrown it away, that would have been better. But
yeah, that's
I don't think he had that opportunity. He didn't have enough time.
Well, you talk about a teaching moment to try to convince a kid. Don't forget about the completion stat because we lost 3 yards.
Well, it was a high snap too,
yeah,
so he had minimal time to get rid of that football.
Right. All right, so we got 4th down and 13. Looks like we're just gonna, I don't think we're doing any kickoffs or punts. So, and again, they need to practice what to do on the 4th and 13. So let's see what Coach Kimmy calls out.
Nice throw and catch.
So I gotta say,
Number 10.
not only was that a nice catch, that was one of those where he just kind of threw it up to a spot.
Yeah.
And 10 happened to turn around. But you know what? So what? 1st down.
Well, that's timing too. Yeah, a lot of that's timing.
Yeah.
But you got to remember too, these guys in the black, are they blue, dark blue, navy blue?
Yep.
They've seen all these plays.
Yeah, pretty much.
So
right.
they're kind of trying to guess. Your opponent has not seen the play.
That is true.
So
that is true. That was a nice little play, nice little completion. Picks up the 1st down again. Picked up a 1st down with long yardage, so that's something they're going to need to. They'll probably see a couple times this year. 1st and 10, out there to the same receiver. Oh, spins around. Wow, that's number 7 again, Preston Sherrill. Okay, he's letting Coach know that he's here to play.
He's trying to find the starting position there. It looks like
that was complete from quarterback Bean to number 6, Brennan Burke. Again, number 7, showing us a little bit of what he's got today. Good for him. And I'm sure when you coach, Inter-Squad was fun. These guys got to be chewing on the bit for next week to hit somebody that's not one of theirs.
Yeah, you want to hit somebody else for sure. Definitely, that's the fun part of this spring. Spring's always fun.
It is, yeah, it is, yeah.
I tell you what, I enjoyed spring football more than I did in the fall because I wasn't as nervous.
Yeah, right. There wasn't a lot on the line as far as job security.
Yeah, Dick Blake hired me. He was the principal
Mr. Tiger
at Coco, and he told me, he said, "Doug, you're just like one of my boys." He said, "But if you lose, I'm gonna fire you."
Did you say you would do that to your son, who's now the mayor of Coco? Come on, Mr. Blake. That was a pass incomplete to number 3, Santi Chavez.
I was hoping he was joking, but
I
don't think he was.
I've known Mr. Blake too for a long time. My dad, as you know, was a teacher at Coco High School.
Right.
I was actually there when Mr. Blake was the assistant principal, and his son Mike was, I believe, a year behind me, doing a great job as the mayor of Coco. So again, just a Mr. Blake, Mr. Tiger. There's nobody else.
Number 1 Tiger.
Number 1 Tiger. Just if you ever saw him without a smile, it wasn't Mr. Blake. I don't care what it was.
He was an elected official too.
Yeah, that's right. For Rockledge, City Council. Yeah, right.
Great guy.
Good people. All right, we got 3rd and about 15. Let's see if the White can pick it up with 5 minutes left in the game. Oh, we got a little end around to number 3. Oh, nice tackle by, is that 17? Number 3, Chavez on the carry. Picked up some. I think that was 17 on the tackle. Nathan Sherwin.
Yeah, 17.
Again, consistently good tackling techniques from all ages today.
Oh yeah, Coach Dormany, like I said, that guy came from Georgia.
All right.
At a high risk school, I'm saying, because if you lose, you're gonna get fired.
Yeah. High risk to the coaching staff.
You gotta work hard and keep your job because you gotta put food on the table for your children. But he knows the game.
Wow, it's all right. So we got another 4th and long, 4th and 11. They picked it up the last time. Let's see if they do the same thing. They've got to get down inside the 35-yard line. Let's see what Coach has called up and dialed in for yet another 4th down play. The snap. Oh, nice little throw. Nice little high throw. Oh, he's got him. He hit him on the run. Look at there, number 7. Touchdown. White team. Wow. Now that was a pretty play. There was no throwing it up. That was on a nice defensive player too, number 7, Cheryl. That's a touchdown to Burke.
Beautiful pass.
It sure was.
Good
wow.
timing.
Yeah, that was. And you know what? I watched some of these combines. It's tough for even some of these college kids to throw that thing on a rope where the wide receiver doesn't. That kid didn't have to stop at all.
That was good time.
All in stride.
Good timing.
All right, so we've got 13. I tell you what, I'm impressed with the extra points. Let's see if he can make it 5 of 6 today, including the middle school.
You got a lot of times you got soccer players that come out.
Yes.
To be your kickers. So
Yes.
I wonder if you play soccer.
That was a nice looking kick. Listen, you and I have watched enough high school football. If you got a kid that can kick extra points, that is huge.
Yes.
That might have been the prettiest play we've seen all day.
It's money in the bank.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, I've been to high school games where they don't even attempt a point after.
Nope.
They just go for the 2-point. But I got to say, that was probably the play of the day. Called up, and again, against a nice defender, number 7, you can see he's being coached up. Didn't really do anything wrong, just that sometimes you just get beat on the play. But again, great coaching, talking to number 7, who's had a great half, Preston Sherrill, and we're going to be seeing that kid a lot during this season. But that was a pretty play, I have to say. There was no luck about it.
Oh, yeah, he ran a great route. The quarterback put the ball on the numbers.
He sure did. In case you're just joining us, we got about 4 minutes left. Again, next Friday, May 17th, Cocoa Beach will be with Gateway out of Kissimmee at Colonial High School in Orlando for a Jamboree. Again, last year, Minutemen won 3 games. Gateway did not win any. Colonial only won 1, so it looks like a very competitive, which, as we've been talking about, you want a nice little trip to Orlando, but they just want to know when they hit the field, they have a chance.
Right. I think it'll be a good matchup.
I think so.
I don't know what their opponent has as far as talent, but Cocoa Beach's got a lot of good kids coming back.
You know what?
I didn't realize it until you told me you did your homework.
Well, you usually grade me on it, so I have to turn it in at the end of the day.
Yeah, I tell you what, they've got some big kids out there.
Oh my God! Well, what's that number 75?
Got 85. I don't know if he's on the injured reserve list or whatever, but that's a big kid right there.
Or 75, Jackson Rains. Again, the young man that we saw earlier today at the middle school level. We didn't have his name, but it's like the young kid that just won the Rookie of the Year, the NBA, Wemby, the real tall kid.
Yeah.
You don't come across those kids too often.
No.
And it looks like Coach has got a few kids that, and you know better than I with your 5 kids, all of them playing college, some semi-pro or pro, is you got to have one of 2 things, skill or size. And if you got size, we can teach you the skill. And I think he's got a couple of those out here tonight.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Good-looking kids. But I'm impressed, as a coach. I'm looking at it from a coaching standpoint because that's the way I watch games.
Right.
As far as blocking schemes, how things are broken down, the organization, how organized they are, the desire. Nobody's walking around. Nobody's loafing.
No.
Coach Kimmy wouldn't put up with that.
Yeah.
What happens with your head coach and your assistant coaches? The kids take on your personality.
Yeah, exactly.
And these kids, once they get that tenacity that I know that Coach Kimmy has, they're going to win some ball games.
You bring up a great point, and I know when I was involved at Satellite or going to the games when Coach Kimmy was there, during the day, game day, those kids are dialed in.
Oh, yeah.
And you know which ones are the football players because of the way they behave, because he expects that off the field. And what did I mention? Their GPA was 3.51. Wow.
I mean, he did the same thing that most coaches do. I did at Cocoa. I told my kids, I said, you can't do it in the classroom. You can't do it on the football field. It's as simple as that.
Right.
So I expect you to have good grades.
Well, that went through about 3 sets of hands. I wasn't quite sure. So let me ask you, Coach. So you have an intra-squad game. even though you're off on Saturday, coaches, as we know, aren't off. Do you have different coaches look at different aspects of the film? I mean, you don't break everything down, do you?
Yeah, well, I mean, what we did in our day, we had that 16 millimeter film. So we would watch it on Sunday.
So you're all there together?
After church.
Okay, gotcha.
We were going to church to pray that we could win. You know,
either give thanks or pray for next week.
You always got to get the good Lord on the side. So after church, we would.
Oh, nice play by number 9. That was Sean Brodigan, and I got him starred. So I believe last year. Let me see. Yeah, last year Brodigan. He's a rising junior. 25 total tackles, 2 fumble recoveries, and 1 interception. Wow. That play right there, again, he's got some kids coming back on defense too that were leaders last year. So he's got to, and again, that's got to bring excitement to the kids that are coming out for the first time.
Right. Yeah, that's good to have that leadership. You know, the older kids, the leadership there. And these guys are role models for the 8th, 9th graders.
Exactly.
It's good to have on the team. You can see that because I've watched the kids on the sideline talking to the younger kids.
Oh, cool.
So
very cool, very good. Well, they're going to be their teammate in a year or two, at that varsity level. All right, number 3 with the keeper. Not sure if that was on purpose or not. Oh, nice little boy. All right, that was Rogers, right? Yeah, Ryan Rogers. You know what I liked about that coach? He had 3 defenders around him. He just put his head down and he went north to south.
Sure did. He picked up a good 5 yards right there for a second
sure
down
was.
and 5.
Because a lot won't do that. They've been watching that quarterback at Buffalo, who's not afraid to run the ball, and he's got a little NIL money too. So pickup of about 5, 2nd and 5 as we near the 1 minute 30-second time left in the 4th quarter. White team leads 14-0 with a touchdown on offense and a touchdown on defense. Oh, nice little rush by 25.
Oh, nice pickup.
Yeah, sure was.
Close to the first down.
Yeah. And that's something else too, like with Chris Hall. You want a quarterback with an arm, but you also want one that can pull it down and do what he just did.
Chris Hall made me look real good. I was a genius coach. And like you said, those type of athletes don't come around every day. He was one in a century.
And he played basketball too?
Yeah, he played
I thought so. Yep.
He played a little baseball too.
Wow, okay. All right, nice little pickup by quarterback Rogers. That's a first down. The ball is at the 45-yard line with about a minute and a half, trying to see if they can get one on the board before tonight's event is over. 1st and 10, Navy. Oh, look at there. Nice. That faked me out. All right. There you go. Sure was. That's one of those plays where my camera would have been going back and forth if I was any closer.
I love that because
that was nice.
When I coached, we had 5 trick plays that we would put in every week. Sometimes we'd change it up, but we practiced those trick plays, and guess what? We won a few games.
There you go. That was Preston Sherrill. I at first thought it was a missed hike, and oh no, it's going to be but wow, nice play. All right, there's the same one running back again.
Yeah.
So I've got to see, do we got 2 7s out there? Yeah, we do. Yeah, 7 and another 7. So let me see.
This is like the golf course to me when I hit my ball. I can't find it.
That was pretty good.
The other thing we had back in the day, Bill, we had tearaway jerseys. Now, tearaway jersey is you put their number, like number 24, and you take a razor blade, you just cut that. It's like a T-shirt.
Okay.
And they put that on, and we scored a few touchdowns with that because their jersey would just rip off. Of course, they outlawed that after a while. But
that's the Coach Cook law, I think, right? Yeah. I think so.
Cook rule.
Cook rule.
But that was pretty cool.
Wow. All right, so let me ask you. So if that happened, would he have to put on another jersey to show the full number?
Yeah, we had several.
See, because you can't go out there and the ref not know. Okay.
Yeah, we had. He wouldn't put. It was another tearaway jersey though, which was a T-shirt with a number on it, and then we take a razor blade and just cut it.
So what you're telling me is you anticipated
that was
T-shirt
legal.
getting torn.
Yeah, we had several, but that was legal back then. That was legal.
That reminds me
So
back in the
was
day.
he.
Remember they wore the jerseys and only went halfway down the tummy?
Right,
You know, like I'm thinking of a lot of defenders used to have that.
It was legal back then. No leash law. Your dog would run. We'd ride our bicycles. The dog would chase us down the
Oh,
road.
my
You had to
gosh.
put your feet up on the center bar.
Who our age
You
has
remember
not
that?
been? Oh, who our age has not ridden the bicycle down a neighborhood and hear that?
Dobermans.
Hey, and you know the old joke. If it was me and you, I didn't have to be faster than the dog.
Right.
I just had to be faster than you.
Exactly. Yeah, these dogs chasing you, Dobermans, pit bulls.
Oh my
they all-
gosh! Yes,
German shepherds.
yes.
And they really wasn't. I don't think they were really.
I don't think they would
vicious.
have if you would have
were
because they
just
chased
like-
cars
yeah,
too. Yeah, they weren't the
Yeah.
smartest animal.
Yeah,
Right.
but I don't think it was really that vicious. They just
But
wanted to
I still acted like it was.
chase. Yeah.
Oh, we're going downfield. Let's
no,
see.
no, no.
Oh, nice little try, little overpass.
He stopped running.
Yeah, he you know, you
Number
gotta,
5.
you know, that's a good point. You gotta run the route, and if the ball's
keep
not,
running.
then that's not on you.
Right.
Yeah.
You got to keep running.
But that was a nice little throw.
Yeah, good spiral.
Yeah, pull
good
that
tight
out, yeah.
Spiral. Yeah.
40 seconds to go. The Navy Minuteman team is trying to get on the board. They're down 14-0, so they're trying to get on the board again today. But yeah, nice little pass attempt. Let's see if we got another Trickerusi maybe left with 40 seconds to go.
Yeah.
Third down. They got to get that first down first.
If you remember the old Bowden Brewski.
Oh sure.
Bobby Bowden, Florida
Yeah,
State.
boy.
Lay that ball on the ground.
Yeah,
Guard
yeah.
and pick it up.
Yeah. Oh, Bobby. As Gator fans, we still respect him. One
I
of the
think
best.
he's the greatest coach of all
All right, he's
time.
going to try it again, going out in the end
Oh.
zone. A little bit overthrown.
This kid's got a good arm.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, that was about
Like
50, 45, 50 in the air. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think my drive goes that far now that I'm thinking about it. I'm just. Oh, I didn't realize we had an audience up here. So sorry.
Getting good over there.
Sorry about that. I was talking
Speaking
about.
of drives, I got a 300-yard drive Monday
Yeah.
at Manatee Cove.
Man,
300 yards at my age.
Listen.
And I'm not on steroids or anything like that.
You
I'm just on
it's what is
Geritol.
Hulk Hogan? You're saying your prayers, eating your vitamins, and yeah,
I
exactly.
think it's that Geritol. I tell you.
Well, yeah, I can drive at 300 yards. It takes me 2 shots. All right, so we got 29. The clock is running. Oh, ball's on the ground. They call it dead. I think they called it before. Clock running. 20 seconds.
20
Stop.
seconds left.
20.3. So as we wind down a beautiful evening here in Cocoa Beach, head coach Doug Cook, back in the day at my alma mater, almost your alma mater, but you graduated 1 year after Cocoa turned into Rockledge. What do you take away from today, Coach?
I think they're well coached,
Okay.
well disciplined.
All right.
And Cocoa Beach is going to win some ball games.
You know what? I think you said it earlier. I don't see a lot of mistakes today.
No.
I see clean tackling, not a lot of penalties. All right, up in the air, got to turn around. Oh, yeah. They gotta. That's got to be something they got to work on right there.
So that's a lot of ground.
He's got to identify those safeties and DBs sitting back there.
Well, you're throwing the ball all the way across the field from the right hash.
Right.
You know, you're giving your defense time to adjust.
Right.
That's a dangerous pass. Somebody's a gambler out there.
But you talked about it earlier, the small things. I think it's been clean on both, even the middle schoolers.
Mm-hmm.
Not a lot of penalties, nice tackling, good open plays. And again, they've got more experience than you do than I do. But if I'm walking off today, I'm feeling pretty good.
Yeah, like I said, I like to watch the blocking schemes and the technique that these kids have been taught. They're well coached.
Very good.
well coached.
All right, so we're winding down. I think we're winding down the clock. We're going to call it a 14-0 win.
And you know the most important thing
Yep.
that I observed
Yes, sir.
today? No injuries.
Yeah, you know what?
No injuries.
Amen on that, brother. All right, there you go. What a nice evening. Again, if you just joined us, first half was 7th and 8th graders. Second half was varsity. Again, like we were just talking about, nice clean play. A nice hand by this crowd. Probably about 100, which is good. And again, if you're just joining us, next Friday, May 17th, Cocoa Beach will be at Colonial High School in Orlando, along with Gateway out of Kissimmee for a Jamboree. And not to look too far ahead, but the first game is August 23rd at Lake Placid, and then August 30th, the first home game, hosting Cambridge Christian. So we expect Coach sometime this weekend, get the guys together, the coaching staff, look at the film, and they've got a week to work on before they start hitting somebody that's not a Minuteman.
Right. I think what they'll do, though, for a inter-squad game like this, the coaches will probably meet either tomorrow or Sunday.
Okay.
Break down the film, and then see the kids on Monday. They'll have a film session on Monday, probably.
Okay.
I don't think they'll bring the kids on Sunday. Or anything like that.
Yeah, right.
They'll have a film session on Monday with the kids.
Okay.
Go over their mistakes and how to correct them.
Right.
And also on the field, once you get on the field, they'll start correcting these. Your individual position coaches will correct the mistakes.
Right.
And also give them a pat on the back.
Right.
There's some good plays out there today.
Well, and I think, we talked about it, again, hats off to Coach Kimmy. Thanks for having us out tonight, athletic director and new head football coach. Again, kudos to Mr. Powers. At the board meeting next week, the interim label goes away, officially principal here at Cocoa Beach. And again, best of luck to Coach Waldrop up at Astronaut High School.
My wife, I was an interim dishwasher. Last week, she made me official dishwasher.
You know what? I used to tell people when I was in retail, when you get those in training ribbons, keep that ribbon on the whole time you work it, because people treat you a little different.
I was hoping I wouldn't get that.
Yeah,
job,
well, yeah.
Saying, but I got it now.
Well, that's why when you invite me over to watch football, I ask if the dishes are done.
Oh yeah.
Before
you gotta come over.
Before I come over, but
Check out my man cave.
Exactly. See what's have an ice cream sandwich.
Ice cream sandwich.
Maybe.
Just bought some. Yes.
Yeah. But good, fun tonight. Again, it was a great opportunity for the fans to watch what they've got looking forward to. And I'm like you, Coach. Nice, clean play. First of all, extra points. Hats off to Coach. We got a couple kids that could kick the ball. But it just sounds like with the returners that we talked about, he's got a good nucleus. Clean play, which, as you mentioned, is a reflection of the coaching staff. I'm pretty excited about next year.
Yeah, I mean, these kids are well coached. And, these kids go Cocoa Beach, academic school, one of the best in the county.
Yep.
There's some smart kids out there.
Yep.
They really didn't make very few mistakes.
No,
jumping off sides.
yeah, no.
But that's going to happen.
Oh yeah, that's right.
But I think Ted Kimmy should be happy with what he's got right now as a nucleus in the spring. And you never know, in the summer, kids move in.
Well, yeah, they like what they see. Kids are tweeting, TikToking each other. And I don't want to take away from the fact of something you just said about smart. One thing that you and I have told kids as we coach, the first thing a college coach asks is what's their GPA? Because if it's not where it's supposed to be, we're done.
Exactly.
And one thing I used to tell kids is, what do you think the first test that a rookie gets when he gets drafted? And it's an intelligence test.
Right.
Because you look at them, you got to know what you're doing. We're not drawing it in the dirt.
Well, I remember back when I was at Cocoa, Danny Ford, who was the head coach at
Clemson, yes.
drove up in a limousine looking for Chris Hall.
Wow.
Had a three-piece suit on, spit cup in his hand, and he goes, "I'm looking for that boy, Chris Hall."
Wow.
And I go, "Yeah, he's right over here in the gym." He goes, he starts talking to Chris. He says, "Chris, I've already been to the dean's office, guidance office.
How about that?
And I've talked to a couple of your teachers."
Wow.
He said, "I'm here to offer you a scholarship."
Wow.
And he said, if I hadn't gone to those two places and gotten negative response, I'd get back in my limousine
You wouldn't have seen me.
and go back to the airport. So yeah, it's so important to be a good character.
Right.
Good character and stay out of trouble. And academics is so important as well.
Right.
You got to be the total package.
Yeah, and you want, like you say, you want good kids for your. And we've done some videos on Press Box Overtime that we've shared. Coach Saban, Don Staley at South Carolina, coach at UConn, both national championships. And the coach at UConn said, I want to meet their parents.
Right.
Because if their parents don't have those qualities, I don't want that kid playing. And that speaks a lot from the two coaches that just won the national championship.
They're going to let you down on Friday night.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
They don't have that, like you said, those qualities that of a winner.
Right.
They're going to let you down on Friday night. Guaranteed. I've been there, done it.
So as a reminder, next Friday over at Colonial, Cocoa Beach, starting at 6, we'll be with Gateway and Colonial on the Jamboree. First game August the 23rd. If you want to, this will be, when we finish, this will be on the Facebook page, Press Box Overtime. I'm going to load it tonight or tomorrow morning on the YouTube channel because it's easier to find. Feel free to watch it, download it, whatever. But it's been a great evening.
Sure.
Cocoa Beach is always a great host. And without Mr. Insight right here, I would just be, you know, talking out of my hat because I don't know football like Coach Cook does, so I appreciate that. So on behalf of Coach Cook, I'm Bill Maharis. We're Press Box Overtime. Enjoy your weekend. Thanks, Cocoa Beach, and we can't wait to see you in the fall. Good night, everybody.